Welcome back. The Immigrant Story. It's one that's often misunderstood, but next Tuesday at Willamette University, you can hear people tell their immigration stories, shining a light on the reality of those situations.
Joining us with more this morning, we have David Gutterman, a professor of politics, policy, law, and ethics, and Tak Sonale Gillespie, who is one of the storytellers at the Immigrant Story Live. Thank you both for joining us.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
This is great.
Yeah, this is such a wonderful conversation to be having, I think, particularly at this point in time, but always to get to learn from folks coming from a very different background than you might be. David, what are you hoping to really accomplish with this presentation?
Well, the most important thing is that what we want to do is create an opportunity to be present to one another, to be able to sit, to be slow, to listen, to learn from our neighbors and our friends and our members of our community.
Yeah.
And we get to work with the Immigrant Story and the Conversation Project at Willamette in order to create the conditions where we can just be present to one another.
And talk again, you're going to be performing, you're going to share your story on that stage. Well, give us just a snippet. What is some of your story that you'll be sharing with people?
Just a little teaser.
It's a little teaser.
So, I was born in a refugee camp, arrived to the U.S. in the late 70s after the secret war in Laos, also known as the Vietnam War. And just really my journey, just living here in this country, and the sacrifices my parents have made to give me, the opportunities that I have today.
Yeah, I mean, there are some pieces of your history that I'm sure are tough to share and tough for folks to hear. What are people maybe often surprised to learn about your story or your family when you share?
That's a really great question, Emily. I think, of course, there's sacrifice, but I think there's a lot of courage and hope in the story. A lot of times people think, refugees and immigrants, are like, I can't find the word. It's like we're struggling all the time and that we're needing something, but really there's so much that we offer and that we bring, and there's so much connectedness, right? Everybody has a story. To be given the opportunity to share that story, I think, is such a privilege. So,
well, and everybody's story is so different, and I think that's great that you have so many different speakers that are going to be a part of this from different backgrounds. David, speak to who is going to be on stage as well, sharing their stories and where they come from.
We have a whole series of different stories of people who've been working with the Immigrant Story coming that evening. And I think the challenge for all of us as we're present to one another is to be worthy of the stories that they're sharing. Right? When Tak and the others who are telling their stories are sharing them with us, we have to figure out, how do I hold that story for you, right? How do I not abuse it? How do I become worthy of it so that I can then go out into the world knowing that all the other members of my community have comparable stories that they might want to share.
Interesting.
Right.
Well, and so with that said, and part of the sharing, is there going to be an opportunity for folks to ask questions and kind of have a little bit of a dialogue?
There is some conversation during the breaks, because one of the really lovely parts about working with Immigrant Story is that we have music as the second half of the evening, and Joe Kai, a remarkable musician from Portland, a violinist, is going to be present. And during the intermission between the storytelling in the first half and Joe Kai in the second half, there's a time and a chance for people to come and talk to the storytellers. But what we also encourage is for people to talk to one another. Right?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And if you haven't seen Joe Kai perform, you absolutely should.
He's such a talent.
Quite a talent, great violinist, great looper, and he brings a lot of his own background, his own history into his art, and I highly, highly recommend it. Tak, what are you just hoping people, when they walk away from these stories, what are you hoping is that lasting thought that stays with them?
Oh, I think it's going to be different for everyone, because each story, while we're all arriving to this country as refugees, that experience, everybody's journey is so different. So I'm actually excited to see what folks are leaving with, right? Because I've heard some of these stories a couple times and I still go there with them.
Yeah.
And I feel something different because I'm in a different mood that day or whatever, right? And different things are happening in the environment. So I'm excited to hear what folks are going to take back.
Yeah, I think this is great.
Well, so if folks want to be a part of this event, David, what do they need to know about attending? And if they can't make it, there's an option for that too.
There is, but joyfully, this is free and open
Yeah.
to the public. It's at Willamette University next Tuesday night, beginning at 7 o'clock, and you are all welcome to join us.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And
Walk
then,
on up.
if you can't make it out in person, recording of the speakers are going to be
recording will
available.
be available.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, will be available on the Immigrant Story website.
Sure. I want to make sure folks know that
Yes.
these stories are going to be there to be shared because they are so worth listening to.
Yes.
Thank you both for being here. It's great to
Yeah,
talk with
wonderful
you.
to talk with you both.
If you want to attend the free event at Willamette University, doors open at 6:30 next Tuesday. You can learn more about the Immigrant Story. Check out this story on coin.com.